Look, Captain Ron here. I'm going to talk about boundary line issues. We've had boundary line issues here on our property alone, along with other properties we've bought, and I'm going to walk you through a few quick steps. It sucks, especially when you buy a house here in Washington State. We don't do surveys when you buy a home, so you don't actually really know what your boundary line is other than what the title company has, but they could be off. Simple as that. They could be off, so I'm going to show you and go through a few steps, what I've learned, how to get some money back if you need to, how to fight them, what to be careful of, at least in Washington State. Now, this isn't legal. This is just something I've gone through. So contact your lawyers. Lawyers comment away. All I'm telling you is my experiences and my knowledge of what I've gained. And hopefully that helps you as a real estate broker to help clients out there. Now, look, we'd all like to have like really nice neighbors. Now, luckily on this side of the house, I did get really cool neighbors. Now, of course, I grew up watching Home Improvement. So you always had the, what was it, Wilson? That'd stick his head over the fence. That's kind of what I built here, 8-foot fences. But what I did with my property line, you can see my stake right there, is I left my stake in and I put my fence about 6 inches off to 8 inches off the boundary line. 2 reasons. One, I did this so I could walk around my fence without having to ask permission, because that's still my land, to stain or take care of my fence. Now, I still will let the neighbor know I'm a nice guy. I'm not gonna just still kind of go over there. So sometimes you run into neighbors that aren't so nice and have issues. It happens. So I put 6 inches over on this line, fence is off so I could walk over there. Now, I may be wrong, but I don't care if I really lose the 6 inches. But if they put something permanent there and I don't take care of it, say they put some brushes or I guess wine grapes, even more, something permanent there, and they have to do the 10 years, then they could take adverse possession and take that 6 inches back of land. Now, that's a lot of work. So 1, I don't care if they do that. 2, I doubt that's going to happen. If they did, I could say something within those 10 years. And 3, I'm maintaining that side of it myself. So I'm taking care of it, making sure, yes, I know I have to stain the fence. Okay, so right here used to be an old garage. Now, my boundary line, actually their boundary line, ran through our old garage. So we just purchased the land, found out that because we did a survey, wanted to remodel, do a new home, found out the lines were off. It actually went through our old garage. So I had to do 2 things. 1, I had to talk to the neighbor. Didn't go well. Asking for some land that technically we thought was ours, and there was a fence and some shrubs and this and that. Still didn't work. They had adverse possession. They've been maintaining it and using it for longer. The neighbor the homeowner that sold it to us, didn't go well, I guess, the nice way. So had to get a lawyer, try to go back that way and forth. Cost about $4,000. That didn't go well because there's no way I was going to win. So just dropped it. Now, here's the catch. Went to the title company, had title insurance because our lines were off. I was losing literally a garage because the line was through there and everything else. Title insurance stepped up to the plate and took care of everything for us. It was amazing. Not only did we get the lines kind of adjusted, we had to let them, but we got huge chunks of money back because the lines were off. Now, I'm gonna say this with the caveat, doesn't always work. Got extremely lucky because I made sure I went through the right channels, had some advice, and got everything done. 2, use the right title company. First American Title. I would use any of the big national ones. I've seen and actually personally had other clients have major issues with the local title companies. Now, I'm not saying which ones are good or bad. I'm not saying local ones are bad, but they don't have the money. They don't have the support. They don't have that huge fund that can take care of it. So that's why title insurance is so important. When you're picking title insurance and you just pick anybody, or you let the agents or other agents pick some little ones that have no money, and then when you have a boundary line issue and it's a few $100,000 or who knows how much, do you think they're gonna really step up to the plate and back you up like First American Title did for me? I don't know, but First American Title did for me. So just make sure of that when you're buying a home. Title insurance is huge who you pick. Here's a quick tip with the fence. If you do buy a piece of land and you think your fence is over or their fence is over, especially if it's a big piece of chunk, get a survey right away. Look, the reason I say get a survey right away is you want to take care of it right away. Time is of the essence. So if you think the land's off, lines are off, some house is over yours or fence is over yours, you want to get it taken care of right away, because if you want to use title insurance, you have to right away. Otherwise, you're going to lose it. 2, there's adverse possession, and as time goes on, the worse and worse it gets, the less likely you're going to be able to win to get that piece of land. I have a client that dealt with this. He knew the neighbor's fence was over his line. He didn't mind, it's way in the back property, so he let it go for 8 years. Goes to sell, it becomes a huge issue. Now he's going to lose that. The neighbor finds out this and that, does adverse possession on him, and he loses it. He talked to the lawyer. There's no way he could win that piece of land. Now, if he would have taken care of it right away, he would have either tried to get a lawyer. If they wouldn't have pushed it back, he could have done title insurance that shows, hey, I just bought this land. I thought this line was it, lost it, did a lawyer. They're still going to do adverse possession. I'm buying something I didn't. I lost a chunk of land. And then he can use title insurance to hopefully get some money back or deal with it to help him fight it so he can keep that land. But that's the whole point of title insurance. So make sure, time of the essence, don't buy it and then wait a few years or longer and then deal with it. Take care of it right away. If you're buying a real big chunk of land in a feasibility study, make sure to do a survey. Pay for the survey so then you can not close and have the seller take care of any boundary line issues before you actually do pay and close on it. At least that's what I would do with the feasibility study on some big chunks of land, or if you're spending a lot of money, especially with some developments and whatnot. And if you like the neighbor, I didn't do all 8-foot fence. Here I did a nice 5-foot fence, so I didn't block their view and we didn't block our view of the water. All right, that's it for boundary lines. If you have any questions, call me. I can walk you through more of it. If you have serious questions or dealing with it, call a lawyer. I can recommend a few here in Olympia, Washington. I'm outside city limits, so I was just going to show you. I'm so happy with my 8-foot fence. My wife was against it at first, but now she absolutely loves it. So do I. And the privacy all the way around the house is amazing. So if you can, always do a bigger, higher fence. All right, Captain Ron out. Have a good day. Enjoy the summer.